Hi, this is Majinoni, and this is my review of this week's Marvel The Siege titles. I'm going to start off first with Mighty Avengers. Now, part of me wonders why the Mighty Avengers was even part of The Siege, because they hardly made reference to it until this issue here. For the most part, it's just Hank Pym fighting Ultron. And the thing that has me wondering is this. Ultron can take down all of the Avengers himself, including with Thor, Cap, Iron Man, and a legion of other heroes. But yet, Hank Pym is able to bitch slap his, son Ultron. And I understand they're trying to make Hank Pym the badass type character he is, being the scientist supreme, which may or may not actually be a title based on if you believe Loki influenced that or not. But regardless, it doesn't make sense. How come Hank Pym, the new Wasp, is able to beat Ultron? Now, you go through all this nonsensical battling, which is kind of lame, and I think totally depowers Ultron, makes him a joke now. And it doesn't take until a little bit later on, like towards the end here, and I'm skipping an important page, by the way, because it's a spoiler, where Hank Pym finally joins the rest of the battle. And they're basically saying, hey, thanks for joining us, we're about to make our final siege on the bad guy. And then, it's Avengers Assemble. Boo-hoo-hoo. Overall, if you're reading Mighty Avengers, you like Ultron, you're probably going to like this. But, I'm just really getting tired of this title. I'm glad that it's probably going away once all this is over. I'm sure we're going to have something along these lines with Hank Pym again. Now, the new Avengers is the... didn't we just read this last month title? And pretty much it is. You get a little history of what happened between the Hood and Norman. Norman makes the offer that the Hood can't refuse. A few of these guys here are actually smart and figure, hey, Norman's not really offering us this type of position, if he thought we were going to make it. And, it's probably true. Norman thought they were all going to die. After all, they're fighting Norse gods and whatnot. And anyways, you get maybe a few pages here of this, some newer stuff. But for the most part, then you have Sentry collapsing Asgard. And you have this nonsense. The Hood goes, hey, I don't have my power anymore. What am I going to do? And that's because, Loki took all of the power away from the Hood. Typical Loki backstab. And, the Hood cries in the hotel room and he needs to be bitch slapped by his woman. Saying basically grow up some nads. And that's the end of that issue. Again, this is the I don't really have anything new to present to you title, so let's just rehash. Waste. Total waste. Thor's almost in that same category because, again, it's you're dealing with Goddess talking to the deceased family, and then again it's the crash of Asgard. How many times have we seen the crash of Asgard? It's like it happened once, and I was like, whoa! I've seen this in every single issue now, and the effect is lessened. It's like, seen it already, done it already. It's no big deal. But anyways, you have Loki explaining some things, Balder going, hey, now, that was a very bad thing you did, Loki. And blah, blah, blah happens. And basically, it's Asgard finally rallying the troops together. And they're finally going to be getting ready to do their counterattack. Which, I'm really surprised Asgard fell like they did, but now that I know that, Loki powered everybody up, it kind of makes sense now why they were all dying. Now, this is the issue where I guess the writer thought that it was over after this issue, and they didn't realize that, let me see here, that you still have another month of comics here, because you figure Siege doesn't come out this week, and you still have more titles. Now I can't even find the ending. But anyways, with the Thunderbolts, here we go. See, if you notice, we're here. Sorry, we're right here. No siege, but it ends. This title ends the siege. You know what kind of happens. We know, granted, I guess we don't need to know what happened. We need to read it in this. We already know who's going to win and whatnot. But anyways, they're dealing with the spear, Odin's spear. You have... Now, this really isn't a spoiler here, because that was on Newsarama. And it's basically a bunch of heroes fighting for, and villains fighting for the spear. And you kind of learn that, hey, maybe some of the Thunderbolts aren't that bad after all. Some battling, and that's all I'm going to show for this one, just because I don't want to give the spoiler away of who wins. But I'm like, they should have plotted this one out a little better. Ending the book here doesn't make sense when there's still one more month of titles to go through. But, you know, I'm not an editor. I'm sure they had a really good plan for this. It just beyond my comprehension what it could be. Overall, so far I'm hit and miss with the Siege, because you have some really good titles in there, and you have a ton of redundant titles. Stuff that we've already seen 1,000 times already, from this issue to this issue to this issue. Actually, this is the only one for the most part is self-contained, where it doesn't keep repeating itself. Because even in Mighty Avengers, you still see a panel or two of what happened already in another issue. But Thunderbolts, you have no clue what's really going on with this compared to the other titles. I wish they put more thought into these other titles than this, like this one. Overall, though, I'm still happy with the direction of the Siege. I just wish I didn't buy as many of these titles. I think you really want to save some money. You know, don't pick them all up. Just stay with the core. Maybe read the Thunderbolts, because the Thunderbolts is giving you a little extra. And beyond that, you know, maybe read Thor too, because Thor had some good insight as to Loki and his motives and what's going on with him. But everything else, if you're not already buying it, don't buy it. It'll probably save you a lot of money in the long run. If you have any questions or comments, tell me how you like the Siege so far, and leave some comments. And until next time.